Okay, Steph Howell, you're starting us off, yeah?
Okay, handing over then to Global GEG. Off you go, guys.
All right. Well, normally, if you watch us on StreamYard, you get a fancy welcome video. Usually it's Darren, and I don't see Darren on here, so we're going to have to yell at him. But we're going to be talking about, we had a common problem and how it moved to project. And I'm sure my time's over, so we're going to go to the next slide. So I am Stephanie Howell. I'm from Pickerington, Ohio, and I was a part of the Sydney 19 cohort, the best cohort ever.
Yes, it's me. It's me. It's the A, I, and the D. And I'm the one who brings the glee to Global GEG, and I'm here only for one reason, to annoy Stephanie.
There are two of us. So I am Stephanie Rothstein, and I am from SEA 19. I was lucky enough to be in that cohort. And now I will let Luis introduce himself.
I am Luis Pertuz. I am from NYC 19, and I was part of that cohort and had so much fun. I'm from Barranquilla, Colombia.
I'm Bonnie Chalette. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I was lucky enough to be in the cohort with Stephanie Rothstein. That's how we met in Singapore.
And I'm Lesleigh Altmann. G'day everyone, I'm from Australia Down Under, and I met Stephanie Howell at Sydney 19, the best.
Next slide.
Next slide.
Cora.
All right. So we all wanted a GEG.
We all needed a GEG.
And we all needed help.
Our mission, after what we saw that there was a gap for the GEGs, which were the best kept secret for Google for Education.
And then we realized, why can we not all work together so that we're not repeating work and instead start to build upon it?
So if we created a real team, then the possibilities were endless. If you carry a problem or your ideas lightly, then that really means that you can work collaboratively and problem solve. And I love Stephanie Howell's, she always says, it's not my problem, it's our problem.
And it really has become so much more. We didn't realize, we still didn't realize how big this is. And it just really came, it grew naturally, very organically. And then COVID just really ripped open a gap for us. And we were lucky enough, the planets all aligned, and it has grown exponentially. And each problem has really brought us a new opportunity for growth.
And so from February to April, we kind of started this idea. That's kind of when COVID hit. It started with a staff room because mental health and loneliness was coming. And we had this idea of, let's combine all of our local GEGs into this one event. And we started connecting 3 times a week, just talking about what's going on, what is your school district doing to solve these remote learning problems that are coming up. So we would talk about like PD, we would talk about how are we handling student, how are we helping parents who are unfamiliar with technology. And then we also would just talk about random life. And because of that, we really got to connecting and meeting other people. And that's kind of what built and started Global GEG. And then we had a SmackDown, which was a lot of fun, where Abid finally came up with his A to the B to the I to the D. And he started to use those different events to realize we can't just do it all by ourselves. We need a team to help.
Well, yeah, and in May, thanks to May, we got finally named officially as a GEG. So before it was just us informally discussing stuff that we'd like to do amongst us. But then thanks to May Ju, we got officially named as a GEG. And on May 1st, we were officially named as a GEG. So it was awesome. And then at around mid-May, we also got access to StreamYard, which was our powerful, powerful platform. So we could do streaming and we could hold events, which we also share with other groups around the world, which has been so much fun.
Yeah, I second that. StreamYard's been a game changer. And then in June, we organized a huge level 1 boot camp that led to a level 2 boot camp. We've had over 30,000 views. We had so many participants, and we've had so many people reach out to us and say that they passed their test because of our boot camp, which is definitely a pride point for us.
And July was the best month of Global GEG ever. And you know why? Because it was Abid's birthday in July. That's right. And Abid's birthday celebration started in the middle of June, as they rightly should have. And they still haven't finished because thanks to COVID post, they're still coming. There's still loads of presents coming in, which is fabulous. But we had so many amazing events in July. Thank you to Hans and John Corippo for throwing me a birthday party on StreamYard. There was also, we had EdTech Smackdown round 2. We had Boot Camp level 2 as well. And we had the I'll get onto the junior training series that launched towards the end of that month. But we also had, oh yeah, It Just Works, of course. My innovator project launched in July. So July has been our most successful month ever. And then yes, we had the amazing junior training series that's launched that has been absolutely brilliant. And yeah, roll on.
Okay, so which brings us to August, and things had toned down a little bit, and it's but we're still, working long. And I added up. No, don't you touch your timer there. I checked through our Edu Activity app and all our calendars through that we offer. Now through meets, video events, trainer times, Twitter chats, and podcasts, we've had 6,207 engagement levels. So I think that was at about 12 hours ago. So I haven't checked since. Next.
Cora. All right.
So, sorry, this is our website. Our website has grown a ton since we began, and I'm really proud of where we are. We continue to revamp it and look at it. We've got our Meet the Team page that people take a lot of pride in being on. We also have so many social channels that'll be talked about soon, and links to all of these pieces and series and developments are all off of this website. One of the things I wanted to quickly mention is that this website is not built alone. So I started, Louise helped to initiate, Steph H put things on here. Then I came in and started to clean up in different areas. And I think that's what started to happen, is that we as a team started to look at where can we help best. And so for me, it was coming in after and then seeing how I could help to revamp or reshape. And that meant looking at cleaning up particular pages and making it clearer for the audience and starting to figure out who is our audience and where do we go from here. And then with that, we started to add separate pages for the junior training series and other specific events that we know were drawing people to our page. With that, we'll talk about a few more as we move to our next slide.
Then there came, this is like a map of, we have a team of people who are helping. It's not just us 6 that started. We have had the necessity to delegate stuff to others because it is too much work. And we could never imagine how much we'd grown in all this time. And we have a team of people, and every one of those pins you see right there is people from all around the world. And on that map right now, there's only 55 people, but we have close to 80 leaders that help us all around the world, and they help us do all the stuff that we do for everybody else. So yeah, it's one of those things that still impresses us every time we look at all this sort of interesting stuff. So
one of the things that happened, I was lucky enough to present Earlier today on Can We Talk EDU, I presented a session with Global, which naturally happens with our group. Everybody presents different things that appeal to them. And I presented on personality type and understanding that and how to help your team work together. What we came to realize after that presentation was that we are a natural group that actually should work together. We're a really balanced team. It wasn't a thing we knew about each other before beginning, but I think it's one of the many reasons why we actually work well together. So each of us are going to talk about kind of our roles and how we started to divide up tasks within our team.
So I am the gold of the team. Me and Leslie kind of share the gold, which is kind of nice because when I'm sleeping, she is up working and she helps me. So I wake up and I'm like, oh, that task is done. I don't need to do it. But I am part of like the organizational team. I'm the one that's like, oh, I have this idea. And then I'm like, oh, let's just start a Google form and a sheet and this. And just starting to organize the pieces. And then other people come behind me to kind of clean up the thoughts. I'm also the calendar wrangler, and I've also broken a ton of calendars, just like the Google Innovator did with the calendars here, just because of the amount of volume. So we realized we can't do a lot of things because things were just breaking due to the amount of volume of people that were interested in Global GEG. And so we had to kind of rethink some things, and I had to learn to slow down. Because Google thought I was a robot and I would have to wait like 24 hours to do certain tasks because I was going way too fast, or the volume of people of copying and pasting. Google was like, are you a robot? Complete this. Which ones are bikes? Which ones are traffic lights? I did a lot of that at the beginning just to get the organization and the Google group and the emails and all that kind of stuff in our system and ready to go.
And I'm the blue. I bring all of the heart and the passion and all of the niceness that Stephanie doesn't bring to the group. And I go about making everyone feel good. Yes, that's what it's all about. And bringing the fun eccentricity to the group. And I think with that, I also do all of the back end fun stuff with the IT. We all started ages ago with lots and lots of admin console stuff with getting the trainer domains up and running. And I'm also I don't know how, but I ended up becoming the legal department, making sure that everyone uses the logos correctly and does this correctly and that and checks in with this and gets permissions and gives the right credits and all of that stuff. So yeah, that's kind of conflicting with my blue, but it just works.
And I come in, I oversee the website, although now I have a whole team. So every day different people are updating that website. So it's no longer me going in there, but I do more of the overview and oversight. And I come in and help out with the Meet the Team page that has some protocols on it. I also oversee some of our protocols and norms. We realized that as the group grew, we needed to develop those. We needed things around how does our chat work, our communication practices, like what are our goals, what's our why, but also how do we conduct ourselves? So what are our norms? And then along with that, how do we actually communicate and keeping track of that communication? So actually looking at having protocols and systems for the way that we message out so that other GEGs could then learn from, here's if you want to send an email about this, here's how you want to advertise about this, that we have a standard, we have a way that we can then build off of. So we're not starting from ground zero.
And well, I am the orange and green, so I'm like the carrot of the group. I bring a little craziness and a little planning. Mostly craziness. And I am basically part of like the data manager, wrangler, wizard guy. I also manage all the Google groups within the domain. Also, Global GEG runs on my trainer domain, which I don't know if it's supposed to, but it is. And I'm also the Spanglish expert, and I'm bringing in the Espanol into everything. So we're working on that, and it makes it kind of fun. And if AutoCrep breaks and you're not getting a certificate, you can blame me. So yeah.
I do a lot of our social media. I run, I'm an admin on our Facebook group. I do most of our Twitter, but we also have an amazing team that contributes. Lots of people schedule tweets. We have a tweet deck, and it's awesome when people all come together and help like communicate the great things our group is doing. We also, along with Becky, Georgina, Shannon, we have in Victoria, we have an open chat for the new coach certification. So that's been super fun to work with. And I'm just lucky to be with these guys. I'm a green like Steph, and I do what I can.
Oh, you're amazing. You're amazing, Bonnie. You're amazing all. Yeah, I just echo that. I wake up each morning thinking, how did I get in this group? This is amazing. So what my area is, I just found it really difficult to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and, help on StreamYard and all that. I don't do that. So I tried to find other ways that I could contribute, and I found a great need where we needed to upload all our events into the Edu activity app, and I thought, that I could do that. Well, it turned out to be huge, and like Stephanie, Google saw that I was a robot as well, and I was ploughing through, adding a country, adding a town, finding the local GEG, finding that GEG leader, and then trying to add that person in. So just as an FYI, when you have more than 20 co-leaders presenting on one activity, then it crashes. So 21, I think, is the limit that you can have. So what I've had to do is divide, say, a 7,000 viewing opportunity. I've had to break it into 3 groups and then divide those 7,000 views engagement into 3 different groups. But we get there, and the GEG leaders have been great. They've been adding their details into a spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is wild. You saw some of it that Lewis has created. So I also began right back in the beginning. I also began the open chat with innovators, just a kind of a casual support for people who wanted to become an innovator this year, and that ran really successfully. And now what we're doing at the moment is working on a Twitter chat, and I've got a great Australian team that is part of the Global GEG, and that's what we're up to at the moment.
Oh, and real quick, I want to shout out to our StreamYard team that helps us run all of our events in the background. I had a mention in the chat. Like, we couldn't do it without them too. They're great.
So this is the crazy spreadsheet. Everybody at Global GEG hates the spreadsheet, but we needed something so we knew who was doing what, because there was a lot of miscommunication at the beginning. We had a lot of growing pains at the beginning, like, oh, no one showed up to the StreamYard event because no one knew who was doing it. 6 of us would be there, and then we wouldn't have enough room for the presenters. So we went through a lot of different growing pains to figure out what was the best. So this is just an example of the spreadsheet, and if you need any help with organization, feel free to reach out to us, and we can go into more detail of how to do this or what not to do, because we've definitely learned both.
Then there's, I don't know, that's Bonnie.
Oh yeah, that's me. But you can say something, Luis. We worked on the junior training series along with May helped us so much with that. I'm so glad she's here. Shout out to May for helping with it. And we had so many people contribute all these wonderful short videos to the world that have supported teachers and students and understanding each little aspect of what Google can do in the classroom. It's been great, and we've had 60,000 views. That's 2,000 views a day, and we're so proud of this. This is one of our greatest collaborations so far.
Then there's also the YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel holds all of the videos we've done for now. And apparently Abid was supposed to say this, and I just took over. So yeah,
that's absolutely fine, Luis. But yeah, there's the YouTube channel, which Luis just said, over 4,000 friends. And the next slide, quickly, Luis, has some statistics.
Yeah. So I put together a lot of the statistics. I'm into using Canva and making some pretty stats here. And so you can see it's pretty amazing, just the impact that this group has been able to have, reaching millions of people and millions of views and millions of impressions in different places. And then some of our top events that are there. But you're welcome to come back to this slide. I was flabbergasted when I was looking at all of the statistics. Next. So in terms of our, Leslie, this one, our engagement and impact here, I will help Leslie out because she's amazing. Are you there, Leslie?
I'm okay because everything crashed this morning, but I'm fine. I'm gold. I'm fine. So our engagement here is, I'm just looking for it here. So you want to know about all the numbers and the
so we were talking. I'll help you out, Leslie. You're all good.
Thank you,
No problem. So this really was that we were talking about how much engagement and impact we have been able to have, and that it really is something that continues to spark more and more with each person. So each time somebody presents something, we get a new idea. Many of our newer innovator projects many of the projects have been sparked by Global, and it has launched many. So we have received so much feedback about the number of GEGs that have launched since our going, which was our original plan, and now the impact that it's had both on educators and educational institutions. It's just continued to grow, and we didn't know where it could lead, but we're quite pleased with where it's ended up.
Absolutely. Thank you, Stephanie. I mean, it's just been so amazing because we came with our skills and our talents, and then with more and more people on our team, I mean, we've got people who are either supporting events or presenting or managing the StreamYard or developing formulas for more event notifications, or we've got communicators, we've got videographers now, and each of us have developed in our own skills, and together we're such a much stronger team by relying on each other, and we go to each other for ideas and training to improve our impact into our own local GEGs.
And lastly, all we wanted to do is, we know that some of you are still on your project and you're still ideating and you're still working on it. Don't be afraid of pivoting. It's a part of the process. It's a way of learning to fail forward. It's gonna happen all the time. Stephanie, Bonnie, and my project all went belly up, and this is our project now, along with Abid and Leslie and the other Stephanie. And please, so don't worry about it. Ring that fail bell, which you will get to know soon, as I understand, and just go for it. Don't worry. Nothing is going to happen. The world is not going to end, and you're going to have an awesome, awesome time.
All right,
Absolutely.
and Darren's going to close us out, just like he normally does.
Yeah, just like you do in the Global GEG videos. Why don't you send us out? He isn't.
Darren has no clue what's going on.
He's muted us. It's okay.
Darren, you're on mute.
We could kick him out of the team if he
Darren
doesn't.
and I failed at paper folding, but I did my crane.
I did it.
Technical issue.
All right, Darren's ready.
All right, guys, we are 2 minutes over time.
I was
Go, Darren, go.
That's close. That's close enough.